Hello and welcome to the first channel to stream Tormenta 20 played in English. I am not Alexandre Januzzi, although it says here on my text. I am, in fact, Guilherme Moina, and I'll be your host and GM for our adventure, The Loathsome Imp of Vectora, tonight. And with me, as always, I have an amazing cast, so let's go ahead and do a round of introductions.
Who goes first?
Yeah, let's do it in order. Sydney.
All right. Okay. What is the order?
I can't see. Yeah, that's my question.
Oh, right. Sorry, guys.
If we're going left to right, I guess I'll start then, and then it'll go Sydney and then Caden. So,
okay.
Ignoring what I just said, hi, I'm Evan. I'll be playing our friend Skorn the Bloodhound. He is Yiddishon. Is I saying that right? Am I saying that right? Yiddishon. He is a tormented soul that looks like he's been through a lot. He's been experimenting on a lot of scars. I couldn't find a good description quickly of Yiddishon, so I was like, hold on. And all that kind of stuff. If you could help me,
it's pretty much any creature that's been experimented on and is kind of a cyborg at this point. So you have that and your original Litho heritage. So you're partly a Litho.
Yeah, I was going to say you have like one cyborg hand, I think you mentioned, at least.
Yes, I believe it's my right hand. So that is our friend Skorn.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sydney Granat. I will be playing Dr. Violetta Goldwing, the Storm Chaser. She is Moreau Owl Heritage. I kind of just went a little bit off the description that Alex provided of what owl heritage are. So very like big, wide eyes, like kind of a tawny color, and then like very fair skin that kind of goes into very feathery, like I think darker feathers in the front, like almost like how barn owls have the like a little bit of an outline around their face, and with the darker feathers and getting wider and wider as they go farther at her head. But she's very put together, very professional, rarely expresses anything on her face.
Sorry. I am Caden Schaefer. I will be playing Zarthius, the Lodestar. Zarthius is a Kalyanak. Kalyanak? Got this.
You got it right.
Say it like I know what I'm talking about. He's very loud and proud looking and characteristically, which you can tell by his loud dress appearance and no need to hide his dragon-like wings or horns on top of his head, and his fair, I would call it almost a reddish tint to his skin to kind of blend in with the occasional scales that appear here and there, and tattoos that just go down the shoulder to basically there for flair.
So, we meet our team of investigators as they approach a crime scene. They've been hastily called in the middle of the night to, investigate. You approach a beautiful house in a commercial district of Vectora. Vectora, for those who don't know, is a flying city. It's carved off the top of a mountain, turned upside down, and it floats and hovers around the world, trading and dispersing knowledge and goods all over the land. It's one of the greatest hubs culturally and commercially. And this is what attracted you, most of you at least, to some extent, because it's a place where things happen. Pretty much because it's always where things are happening, mostly. You're approaching this house. It's raining a little bit. It's the darkest of nights. And you see a few lamps rushing around the entrance of this house. You see a coach being loaded up with people groaning. And what's it you call it when you like to carry an infirm? Like whatever.
They're on a what is the word for it?
You know what it is.
Like a gurney? Are we thinking?
Yeah, I would say gurney. Yeah, like
everyone's
gurney. Running around with
exactly
gurneys,
that. They seem to be rushed off this place, and some people are rushing around, and that's where a police line seems to be extended, and one of the guards on duty comes and stops the coach, and only when he sees you three peeking out the window, he kind of lets a sigh of relief and say, yeah, no, just let them pass, and waits for you to disembark.
So as assuming we disembark as soon as the coach is stopped, are we approached, or should I scan the room for whoever seems to be in charge at the scene?
You are on the outside on the curb right now, and you see you're left out right in front of a small arch that leads into a garden, and it's also sealed off by police lines. And you see more people in front of this beautiful adorned house with the doors and the windows seems to be all carved in different weird shapes and colors. The only thing that you kind of know is that it's some sort of atelier for some famous artist. You haven't heard of him before. And the person in charge should be the Inspector Gavin Days, who is not at this moment in front of the house. But you kind of recognize this officer in front of you. You've seen him around, and he definitely knows of you. So he holds up the line so you can come in and say, you're really glad you're here. You just saw our forensic technicians being hauled off. I mean, well, so yeah, I guess we should start, right? The inspector is busy back there. He's still cleaning off the part of the crime scene that's outside the house. He told you guys to interrogate the assistant, and what was it, Brian? And the other one comes in. Yeah, no, and you. Oh, fine, you're here. Yeah, you'll have to actually go inside and check because we can't.
What do you mean you can't? Are you not being allowed, or is there something there?
Yeah, we physically can't stand it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, our technicians poked around for a bit. We started feeling a little bit ill and left before them, and they stayed, finished the job, and we heard some screams and anyways, they're kind of catatonic now. We don't know what's going on.
Could you define your symptoms for me?
Oh, I'm only nauseated a little bit, but it passed. It's there's some kind of laboratory there. They mix the inks or something. and the smell is pretty strong, and I got a little bit dizzy. But the moment I stepped out and breathed some fresh air, I was fine. Most of us are fine, but forensics teams is.
So
Did that
nausea,
happen?
lightheadedness. Define
Yes.
the smell more particularly. Was it
Well,
sharp,
it's
acidic?
something. I think the you know, the stuff they do to inks to thin them and dilute them. You know, that chemical smell. I don't know, man. It's just some alcohols and stuff. It smells like a lab, to be fair. But anyways, the assistant is over there. He should know what the stuff is. He just arrived right before you guys.
So you're asking us to go into the house, or we are interrogating them outside of the house?
Oh, both, if you can. I mean, they told us you usually do.
We should
this
probably
kind of
begin
stuff.
the interrogation first, and better
Right,
determine
right.
what's going on within the house.
Yes, of course. Larry, could you bring the Mr. Yes. You see another fella coming. He seems shaken. He's being guided by this other officer. So yeah, this third guard comes with this fellow, and Skorn, give me a perception check, please.
Ooh, first roll of the session.
Get to it.
As you do it, you guys see a guy with a duster, it seems, and a wide-brimmed hat. He has a heavy mustache, and he's kind of like wild-eyed, like he's scared of the situation. He seems confused, and he's just like, he seems to be kind of cold sweating, like he was trying to explain something, it seems. 32, okay. So yeah, the moment that he crosses the threshold of the house, like not crosses, but passes by the threshold of the this atelier, some of the chemical lights are still on, and you see a flash of red on his skin, and you know right away he's a little like you. Well, like the organic part of you.
Yeah.
He seems to have, with 32, you see that the tip of his fingers are red. At a glance, it could mean just that he was maybe he touched paint and it what hasn't washed off yet, but you know that's probably not coming off. And he has some patterns. It reminds you of marble, if marble was his skin tone and red. It kind of meshes together. It's really subtle. Like on the face, on the neck, you see some patches. He hasn't had much uncovered at this point because of the rain, and has a coat, an overcoat. But whatever you see with your keen eyes tell you that his skin is probably all with that pattern. He approaches you and look at the guards, and then look at the three of you, which is a kind of fairly odd group of people. And he's like, anyways, as I was saying, I don't know. I have no, like, I wasn't even in town for the past, like, 18 hours. I just arrived. I don't know. So is Mr. Romero okay? Is what happened to Gráan?
What happened to who?
To Mr. Romero and Gráan, his assistant. The boy was. He was probably here. He's been practically sleeping in here. If something happened, he was probably... Oh my god, if someone did anything to him...
Back up just a little bit. The assistant, the boy, is in there.
Oh, no, they said no one's here anymore.
No one's here.
And I you see that the guards say, calm down. There was no one else here. Just Mr. Homero. You said the artist. He's been taken to the hospital. Maybe you can talk to him later. He was rushed to the emergency. He seemed to be in a similar state than our technicians, but there was no one else in there as far as we could tell. But it's not really a huge place, so that's... And he seems to be relieved for a second that no one's there. This guy, the head assistant, but then he's like scared all over again of like, right, if he's not here, then where the fuck is he?
Right.
I don't believe we received your name.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm Benjor. I'm the I'm the alchemist here. I'm the head alchemist. Like, I'm the main assistant to Mr. Homero's, the artist. Yes. My task here is to mix his paints and prepare the material for his works of art. It seems I should. And well, I've been instructing the other assistant, the kid, Gráan. He's been learning as well. I mean, to mix stuff, and I've been teaching him. But my main focus here is to, prepare his supplies.
So you're very familiar with the building and its.
Oh
works.
Yes, very much so. Yes, I've worked here for pretty much since Homero moved to Vectora. It's been like 5 years now.
Interesting. You and Homero close. So what was the? Could you recall the events that led up to this?
I woke up this morning and Mr. Homero said he really needed a specific shade of red that is really hard to get to, and I was like, shit, okay, I'll need to buy some some pigments. And I went to the store, and the store didn't have it. But then I was reminded that we were flying over this region that they do have some of those bugs, or at least some in the family. And then I went down on a balloon, and I tracked down some bugs to the fucking swamps, and then I brought them. And he grabs a bag, and you see that it has a lot of, like, he opens and it has a lot of crushed wings and carapaces of bugs. Reddish bugs.
Can I do like a knowledge
I was
check?
going to make paint. Yes, of course.
Because I'm going to see if I can think of any other uses for those bugs outside of paint. And that's a natural one.
Yeah, you look at them and it's like, do they make paints out of this? Wow. Yeah, I really have to look into that. Like, yeah, it's one of those very obvious blank spots on your extended knowledge. Like, you're like perplexed. Like, why would they crush bugs?
I never bothered with the arts.
And you're like, imagine if they catch a Tormenta bug. Like, they're red. Maybe that's dangerous.
Yeah, I get lost in a different train of thought. So
it goes way, way far. As you seem to lose the doctor, he's like, he just closes the little bag. He pulls the strings and just puts in his coat and looks around, kind of and that's it. Then I came here, and there's a police line, and Mr. Homero's in the hospital, and the kid's gone. I don't know, man.
So you weren't here during or before. Nothing strange out of the usual that happened
It's
even
an
before you had
artist
left.
atelier. Several strange things happen here, but no, nothing out of the ordinary. No, for them. They've been working a lot for the past months, to be honest.
Have there been
And
signs of fatigue or exhaustion?
On him?
In general, if everyone's
on them. Oh, you're asking them. Okay. Oh, yes, very much so. Homero was. It seemed that he didn't come fully refreshed every morning when he came back to work, and Gráan, like I said, the kid was pretty much sleeping here in the kitchen. He brought some futons, I think they called it, and from his college, and just crashed here, and he spent the whole night doing whatever it was that.
How new is the kid? You said.
Sorry.
How new is the kid? You said you were teaching
he's been here since the other one left, which was in. I think I'm gonna say 8 months, maybe.
8 months.
Something short of a year. He's a very bright kid, very interested. At least he seemed a little bit closed off at first, but he's actually very, very cheerful. And I'm just worried. He's the first one that ever had any interest in my work. Most of the other assistants that came through, they just wanted to be shadowing the master, and trying to show their portfolios to him and stuff like that. But he earnestly tried to learn, and he was actually pretty good.
An upstanding kid
at the job.
Like
Yes. I would say so myself. Yes.
Off to the side, how would based on knowledge and experience of Tormenta events, how are these things? Do they usually happen instantly, or do they usually take time to fester before they blow up into something like this?
It depends. Like, if you're asking about how it affects a person, it's usually over time, being exposed to it. There are instances where it was made through a ritual, or when some very, let's say, aggressive manifestation of the Tormenta took hold of the person. And kind of the same, as I understand, works for the places. Unless someone causes it, like some great warlock conjures a Tormenta space in a place, it's usually a creeping, corruption and so
right.
It could be either way, depending if it was naturally caused or forced.
Okay, which we would need to investigate more. Thank you. Yes. Anything else you might be able to enlighten us on, sir, with...
I can show you around, if it's all right. He turns to the...
We may need to do some precautions for breathing apparatuses. Are you aware of any toxic and chemical materials within the building that might... Great. Are there some combinations? Are you aware of any gases that would have been...
Yes.
Great. We should probably begin airing out the building, opening...
Oh, no.
Oh?
No. That's going to probably poison everyone in the neighborhood. We have a filtration system in place. Mm-hmm. We should let that work. But please, like I said to your guys before, they open the main door and they open the storage room and started poking around. And I'm not like I wasn't here. It's my fault. I'm not accusing you of anything. You see, the guards are kind of like, I was going to know. But we did have signs and stuff. Anyways, so it's probably better now as far as fumes can go. I mean, I don't know whatever Gráan was doing, if it's spread, but it can't be that bad that a few, I don't know, a couple hours wouldn't, clean up enough. But you should probably wear masks or
I was going to say we should
over
have
your
some
face.
sort of mask.
It's nothing that would need, a specific apparatus. Just, protect your soft tissues, maybe. Should be fine.
Are we
Mr.
able
Zarkius,
to
could you
shout
please?
out? Oh, I was just gonna shout out to the guards and be like, just can we get some masks over here? We're about to investigate.
Mr.
They look at
Zarkius,
each
could
other
you also
Sure.
please ask the inspectors if we might send someone over to Gráan? Mr. Gráan, you said his name was?
Oh, we've been trying to track this fella down. Some people in the neighborhood have already been questioned. We're doing our jobs.
Has anyone
On
been
the
sent to the
outside?
university?
Sorry. Yes,
wasn't he?
They
Yes.
they sent people there to ask around. With the
And presumably
teachers.
his dorm,
and
his
his-
bedding situation?
Sorry, he's kind of overwhelmed right now. You see him, he's like a foot soldier. Like, yes, yes. Okay, hang on. We sent people to canvass the area. We have seen him flooding this. He left the scene. He seemed weird. They said, I don't know the specifics. The inspector have more information. And we sent people back to the university to talk to his teachers and roommates. Yes, that's. Yes.
Good.
We will need to know immediately as soon as his whereabouts are found.
Oh, okay. We're hoping that anything in there could actually be the key. But we are doing everything we can outside of here. It's just that, the inspector said you guys could deal with that shit. His words, not mine. But yeah, because you were used to it somehow. And well, yeah. But we assure you that we are definitely doing our best on the outside.
Great. Well, as long as that is established, we will do our part. But the boy might very well be part of ours. If you are making,
Yes.
we need as much information as we can get, and the boy is going to be infinitely helpful. On that note, as soon as Homero is awake or conscious, we will need to
let
speak.
you know. Definitely, yes. Oh, and probably later you could swing by if. Anyways, you can try to investigate. It's just that it's very critical this first few hours. So we'd like to know if there's anything important in there. And yes, Mr. Venger, right? You can accompany them. I'll ask you, like the inspector said, to not touch anything, and unless you want to be restrained. But so far we've checked your story, your alibi, and you were indeed out for the entire day, so you're not a suspect as of now. Gráan, however, is a person of interest, and we want to know anything we can, since he was the only one that seemed to walk out of the scene of the crime with his own two legs. So yes, good luck, and yeah, don't die in there. If anything happens, just shout, and we'll have to go there and rescue you. Well, we'll figure something out. But if you need us, just shout, just talk, through the window, and we'll come to the window and talk to you from the outside. Okay? Good luck.
All will be good. Good work, lads. Just give him a pat on the back as we start just already on the way.
Just fucked off. The other one comes and says, well, the forensics guys left some face coverings here. You can definitely use them. They are sealed, and he gives some paper bags with.
Wonderful.
Paper bags.
No, I mean they are not in plastic.
In paper
They are
bags. Gotcha.
sealed. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was like, damn.
That's not gonna
Mom's
help.
about to be out here like, this is useless.
But yeah, he gives one each and grabs the little box and just here, just if you need it. You see that Benjor just chuckles and says, "No, thank you," and doesn't wear one.
Beautiful. Well, inside we go.
All right. Would you guys want to? This is Benjor speaking. Would you guys want to start at the lab, or the artist?
Intriguing question.
Either way,
We should begin at the scene of the crime.
That's all of it, as I'm.
But that was an epicenter.
Then
It seems that, and the guard confirms that. Yeah, no, that's stuff everywhere. Like
We'll just start at the front.
We'll start at the front and track the evidence to what appears to be the origin.
Okay, right. He. I don't know where it is, but just come with me. I'll show what a regular day is in here. And he starts walking. He gets past this big double door here. Do you follow him?
absolutely.
Yes.
Gonna
Which
make
one am
sure I'm gonna position myself where Skorn is in front of me because I am monitoring his reaction to things that I know I probably cannot sense.
Cool.
I would like to be just next to our guy here because we're not afraid.
So he gets past this double door, this ornate door, full of carvings of creatures and nymphs, you think, and stuff like that. And he goes to a side door over here, and he starts grabbing on his coat a couple of keys. And he gets one right away and opens the door and say, sorry for the smell. But yeah, this is where we prepare the stuff for the... Oh, come in. And he guides you inside. Yeah, you can see... Hang on, I had to...
I was going to say, can't see.
Yeah, you can't see anything because I have...
Da.
You can see this.
Let me, on this side, focus it up nice and close for our viewers. Lovely.
So it seems to be a small lab with a big table full of... You recognize most of the apparatus here. They seem to be high quality. It's not stuff that you use on your research, yours are more like military grade, but this here seems to be like top of the line of everything. That, like, some of it is definitely overkill for an assistant that needs to make paints, apparently. You see some stuff used in metalworking, some stuff that is used to, like he said, prepare paints and pigments and stuff, some acids, what you would expect, and then a little bit more, but nothing on a cursory inspection out of the ordinary. To your left, you see a wide arch leading to a kitchen, a cozy kitchen. It has you see that there's a kind of a curtains that are like peeled away that divide the two rooms, and you see a few doors in front of you. One here, one here, and one here, another here, another there. And he starts just showing, no, that's my station here in front of the window, and that's where Grant sits usually, and back there's the storage. Over there is the main atelier where Homero works, and well, that's the bathroom and the pantry back there. That's pretty much it. We only have one story, and where would you want to start?
I think I would like to start investigating Grant's station. Just to poke around. I don't even know if I'm looking for anything particular. Just anything that might seem off or not belonging into an an assistant's desk, or anything that might be related to. I mean, you had mentioned he was a little secretive. What was the word you used? Contained.
Yeah, he said that first he was kind of more shy than anything, but kind of drawn inwards. But he seemed to, open himself up and be cheerful and interested about stuff.
So I think
inquisitive.
Our best lead being him, I'm going to investigate.
Yeah, give me an investigation check, unless you want to do something more specific, which you can always just ask for, and we'll see if it makes sense. Let's
Mr. Zarthius, do not forget your gloves.
So, you start poking around. When you're going to reach for something, the doctor goes in, no, and gives you a little glove.
Thank you.
So you see that there are some... It seems to be a simple station. Kind of, he's been doing like the boring part of the work, the most boring part of the work. There's several... He seems to have made kind of a method for it, like an assembly line. And you see that there's stuff that goes here, and then he passes. You see several stages of whatever being done. It seems to be very boring work, which is why you assume that most of the other assistants didn't give a crap about this. But this kid seemed to be interested for it somehow.
And very organized.
But yeah, he's very organized, it seems. You see that around it, it's kind of messy, but it's kind of... He was in the zone there. It's
right.
You can't understand it exactly. On a 15, and without any specific knowledge, you don't know exactly what he was doing, except for what the main assistant told you. But yeah, it's kind of... He seems organized, at least in his space when he's working, and efficient. Like there's several small vials of, you assume, ink already like piled up on a corner, seem to be ready to ship out.
I'm gonna also take a look, because I wasn't going to look here. I was gonna check Skorn's reactions to things, but since I'm handing you gloves, I'm gonna look around. While he's looking at the station, I'm focusing in mostly on anything that looks like it dries out, to give a sense of how... And I might ask, what's his name? Benjor?
Benjor.
Ask Mr. Benjor for clarity of like if anything can give us a timeline, and if maybe Gráan was like in the middle of something and stopped abruptly.
Right. You want to know what his work was? Oh, well, for the day, I think before I left, Mr. Homero asked him to prepare a new batch. That's part of what I was doing. Halfway through, we made some, quick calculations, and we're like, oh shit, he wants a lot of it. And we figure out that by the time that he would need it, we wouldn't, have enough materials, so I ran off while he finished what he could. And he was I can say that, well, judging by the amount that he made, it seems that you see him like doing some math. Well, we figured he would be done by the time I arrived, so there's enough there for a couple more vials. So it happened in the last 6 hours. It was stopped at some point in the last 6 hours.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Skorn, do you detect
I'd like-
anything unusual?
I would say Skorn's eyeing the vials, wants to pick up one and slightly just pour it on the desk, just to verify that it's ink.
He's like, when he extends his finger, you open one, and, well, give me roll me a d4.
Oh, a D4. Okay.
Mhm.
We're about to blow up.
Okay, that's a much more specific one. It's not on the character sheet.
Yeah, I think it's R/1d4.
Yeah.
Hold on,
You can
try to
also,
get-
Or just
in the
D4.
top left, there's a D4, there's dice, and you can just roll
Yeah, there's
D4.
dice on the sidebar over there.
Wait, here we go.
Yeah,
Oh.
you pour something and you see the guy kind of, and then it's just alcohol, something like that, and he's like, just be careful. Some of those are abrasive, and give me an insight check.
Inside. Wait a minute. Is it not going to the wrong spot? Is it on the?
Oh.
It's not on the.
Sorry,
It's
On
on-
the sheet,
it's not in alphabetical order. It's in alphabetical
It's-
order if it was in Portuguese, which
Yeah.
Wait, no, I found
Yeah, I
it.
was going to say
it's
under
way
intimidate,
down there. Yeah.
There he is.
like in the middle.
Yeah, I was like, I
Okay.
completely kept skimming past it.
You catch his at the moment that he says abrasive, he's like it's going to hurt you, like he's talking to a child almost. It's gonna do a boo boo, and then he kind of sees you for real, and he's like, that shit ain't gonna hurt this guy. Like something stops him mid track, and anyways, you should be careful. You might, it can destroy something here, and but you see that something like he looks at you and clocks you and say like, yeah, this guy is fine. Like he doesn't need to worry.
Kind of just glaring at him the entire time, just being like let me do my job type of thing.
Yeah,
just being like, he should be more concerned with himself, kind of thing. He's a man of few words, so he's just kind of just wants to observe again how he was reserves in doing that kind of stuff. And honestly, he'll just pick up the other vial and do it again.
It's like that takes a lot of time to prepare. Please don't. Anyways,
While Skorn is doing that, I'm just going to...
This time is ink. Like it's just
This one's ink?
not ink, just a pigment, fine reddish powder. It just kind of poofs and it mixes a little bit with the alcohol, and it's like, yeah, that's ruined now.
I'm going to investigate
We're
all
currently
the
in the
doors.
epicenter.
Just
He'll
to-
set the vials down and leave them alone now. Seeing that there, assuming that the last one is, just another, artistic thing.
I'm going to investigate all the doors just to see if there's any signs of clear, like, from here, is there a clear direction of where Gráan went, where someone else went, something suspicious outside of the daily wear and tear of movement?
Yeah, are you asking him? This?
I'm going to investigate.
Or
it.
are you trying to...
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't hear.
I lost her for a second.
Yeah, I lost you.
Okay.
Hello?
we should have her back.
I'm here. I never left.
Yeah, no, the sound went off for a while.
Yeah.
I saw you talking, but I couldn't hear you.
See,
So
this is why we use Zencaster.
Did you say that you wanted to ask him about Gráan's...
No, I'm just doing an investigation check.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just checking the doors.
Mm-hmm.
13 plus, I think, a shit ton. Plus 13, so 26.
13, so 26. I love higher level characters in this game. They go off like crazy at some point. So yeah, you see that the floor is pretty clean. It has this like marble and tiled floor that it's kind of not what you would expect from an actual lab. But like you kind of see all the right precautions and in keeping it tidy, clean, and safe. You're kind of like, why is it close to the kitchen? Maybe they should isolate it a little bit more. You see that it's pretty much a curtain that separates the two of them, and you're like, there's an open flame over there. That's not very safe. But anyways, but it doesn't seem to be anything to be disturbed. You do see rushed, wet footprints coming from here to here, but they do seem like boots, and you're reminded of the boots from the constables outside, and you know that there was some commotion, so maybe this is kind of them not respecting all the forensics, guidelines, and actually having to rush out someone, because you've seen people being rushed from this door when you arrived. So you're kind of like, yeah, it seems clean enough, except for where the officer screwed up. So
I'll just very quietly to Zarthius, Mrs. Zarthius, just to be aware there are wet footprints. I believe they are from the investigators and not relevant to our investigation.
Assuming water wet, or are we able to figure out if it's like ink wet?
It seems just like apart from that, it's really clean. So it looks like just water from the rain, a little bit of mud.
Suspiciously clean, like someone might have cleaned up after something.
When you say that, he says, "Oh yes, cleaning up is a very big part of what we do here." Gráan, I'm at a point that I can leave Gráan to finish up if needed be, because I can trust him to clean after himself and leave everything up to code, as they say, in respect to that. So, and he sees you like pointing at the marks, and he's like, yeah, no, he wouldn't track.
You must understand, it indicates a level of premeditation, though.
To be fair, everything here has to be premeditated. We are working right next to a kitchen that's not very safe, but Mr. Romero wanted it to be, this townhouse here, very quaint and everything, but it's not exactly, a good place for a lab. So we kind of me personally, I set the standards pretty high in here, and it would be weird to see something out of place, to be fair. Like, if everything is tidy and you're saying that it's clean, that's the point.
Unfortunately, to remind you, friend, that it doesn't matter if everything is clean or dangerous or whatever precautions you take here. If anything is out of place, or even if something was added and was in its place and you never even thought twice of it, you are currently standing in the middle of a very dangerous event. Everything is going to be suspicious. Nothing is out of the blue. Nothing is out of reason for us right now.
Oh no, I see where you, like, I understand. I'm just saying that, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know what we are going to see on the other rooms, but what I'm saying is this is the part where, this is the safest part, to be honest. I'm saying that in respect to what to expect, like this is kind of our sanctuary here, so and Gráan understood this and respected it more than any other. So I'm actually just glad that at least this part is the way it should be. Just
Then let's hope that it was something not related.
Yes.
Where did you, good doctor, where did you say the tracks started from?
I didn't see.
Oh, it's from this door. You see a few coming here, but you see the rush marks coming from here, and some coming from the kitchen. This door here, now that you walked around a little bit, you see that is, what is it? It's partially open, and you see that there's a toilet, like a small water closet of sorts, very well decorated and stuff, but like just a regular. And there's another door here, and this is where he's pointed and said that was the storage, and here's the main atelier per se, like where the guy paints.
Yeah, I'm kind of just scanning, poking my nose into every room, even the storage room, just to verify what he said was not a lie, and also seeing if anything sticks out to me.
When you come in here, you see that it's pretty much just a pantry. You see some loaves of bread, some dried meat, some stuff that seem to be a refrigerated container of sorts. This city has some comforts that most other places don't. Like, you have that obviously for your research and stuff, but it's not like a regular household appliance that you can find. And you see that this guy must have a lot of cash. So you see that, but apart from that, it just seems small but very rich pantry. Same for the toilet, like it's just...
And nothing that would indicate why Himera would have wanted this room so close to the kitchen.
It seems that he wanted the house. And that's the only room that they could spare for the lab. And he definitely wanted a kitchen, because he didn't, remodel it. It seems to be the way it was supposed to be. Like, except there was not supposed to be a fucking lab in the middle of the house. And here, this seems like a hall, like a foyer of sorts. But yeah, so he says, would you like to go in the atelier or our little storage room here?
I think I will move on to the main room.
All right. You try the door, and it seems to be locked.
Do you have a key, or are we forcing our way through this?
Oh no! Yes. Sorry, they must have, slammed the door on their way out. Excuse me. And he doesn't grab a key, you see that the door has some, like the door outside, lots of carved pictures in it, and you see him trace a few nymphs in a specific pattern, and the door unlocks, and he opens it for you.
Magical door, huh?
We'll just simply a
Very
magical lock.
intriguing. Is our magical locks common in these parts, or is that a...
They are more common here than anywhere else, I would say. This one seems to have some flair to it that's not necessary. Usually it's just like you touch a rune or something, or you, if you have magical power yourself, you can interact with it a certain way. This one seems kind of needlessly elaborate. But it's, I don't, for a rich guy, it's not that
accurately extra.
Yeah, just, probably just showing off.
Right.
And you see, as he opens the door, part of this area here. Which is a huge room. You've seen from the outside that this room is a little bit a little bit a little bit of a high ceiling to it. It seems to be taller than the rest of the house, and it has a big window, on the ceiling. I don't know how it's called. I forgot the name in English, but one of those domes, like glass domes.
Oh, just a skylight type of thing. Okay.
Exactly, a skylight, which is shattered. You see that this is the main door over here. To the outside, the big, intricate double door. And you see that right across it, in the middle of the room, you see one of those, wooden something to divide the room, that is kind of collapsible. Yeah. Don't know the name again, but it's open. It seems to be something to cover the work area from whoever would just walk in from outside. As you go in, you see that this room has a lot. There's a big table right behind this wooden, division. You see cupboards and closets and rows and rows of books and shelves. Some chests lying around, and all of them have very eccentric stuff that you would. It's somewhere in between a museum and just an Indiana Jones themed. It seems to be stuff from all around the world. You see figurines, you see arcane stuff vials, one of those, glasses that kind of loops around itself. And it just seems a lot of odd things collected throughout his life. Stuff that probably is worth a lot, some of them especially. And you see that stands out a little bit is that he has that this little desk over here that still has some candles on, and a small table set for two in the back. right in front of a painting that is confusing, to say the least. Like, there are loads of portraits around, stuff like portraits of probably someone important, or naked ladies in a pond, stuff like that, more classical in a sense. But there's some weird stuff here, like some splashes of ink in a canvas that seem to be moving. Like, it gives the impression of movement, but when you kind of double take and look again, it's like, no, it is moving. And when you focus on it, it's not anymore. Gives a weird vertigo sensation. And this big painting behind this table seems to have an indescribable creature. Like, it's something that comes from a crack on the ground and seems almost to bloom as something like a spore would, like a mushroom or something would, but it's not quite that. It's very odd. Like, it's nothing you've ever seen before. But it seems to be a centerpiece on his wall, like right above the place where probably he dines when he's there.
Okay. List of things to go down now. Dang. Okay. I guess the first thing, do I notice anything else that might be what's the words? Misshapen, broken, or destroyed, similarly to the skylight, the glass?
You see that there's a table, right? This thing here is pretty much a big rug with several footprints, most of them barefoot, made of ink on top of this canvas-like rug. Is probably just a protection for the tiles on the floor. So he's using probably stuff there, and you see that he probably works barefoot because you can see several footprints around in several colors, but mostly red. The freshest ones in red. And you see this table, like this huge table, and give me a knowledge check, or what's it, nobility? What is the name of the? Nobility or knowledge.
Okay, I think nobility is where is knowledge? Ooh, they're both okay. Intriguing. Do I have? Yeah. Okay. I will. For each limited by my charisma. Okay, so I can spend. How much do I have? Oh, math. Okay. I think I'm allowed to use pride, correct?
Yes.
To spend 4 MP for a total
up to
of
4. Yes. It's up to. You can spend just 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's up to your charisma.
So if my charisma's 8, I can spend up to 8.
So up to 8. Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Okay.
The highest roll.
The highest roll possible.
I'm just saying because I knew yours was high, usually high. You don't need to go all the way to, you don't need to wait to spend 8.
To the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I just spend...
Remembering that every mana point turns into 2 on your roll.
On the roll, and then
Which
how
is a
do I
lot.
regenerate mana again? Just
Sleeping.
sleeping. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna happen here, Chief.
No.
Probably-
So
yeah.
then
Above board here, probably not gonna happen.
we'll start off a little slow. Then we'll spend 2 mana points.
Cool. That's
for
+4 to your roll.
+4. I just wanna. So I keep track of
Those
this.
skills are just to clarify. Those skills are usually trained only. You have to have it trained to perform.
Mhm.
But in this specific scenario, I'm allowing it. Sometimes you can just do it if it seems relevant.
Okay.
And in this case, if you roll well, you know why.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Then we'll do that, and I will roll. Where did that nobility go?
It's
Okay. 17.
that's good. No, that's good.
21.
That's already +4, right?
No, I
That's
don't
the
know how to
roll.
add that.
So-
That's the roll.
21,
Oh, 21. Okay, cool.
because you added 2 mana, right?
Added, yeah.
That's a lot.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 21. You never really paid much attention to your tutors and the etiquette classes, the stuff that you had back home.
Mhm.
But you do remember one specific thing that was probably your favorite of being a noble from a noble house from Skorn Towers.
Mhm.
The day they painted your official portrait.
Yes.
In all your glory, once you turn 18, your father commissioned a solo portrait. Up to then, you would appear, close to your siblings and by your dad's chair, stuff like that, and it was kind of boring. But this one was just for you. This table is just like the one that you posed on. That
Mhm.
at first you were going to pose holding an orb or some such idiocy that your father wanted you to possess to show your nobility and intellect.
Mhm.
You pretty much convinced to the course of a couple of days that the painter would do a masterpiece if he depicted you riding a dragon, which he did. So he had to come up with this huge apparatus to kind of mimic the riding position stuff, and it looked glorious in the end. But this is pretty much it. It's an elevated platform that subjects usually pose, or sometimes if it's in a sculpture, you've seen the atelier for the artist that was commissioned, and you've seen some sculptures also being put on these things for so people could work on it.
Mhm.
So this has a very central thing. It seems to have been used recently. You see some scrapes on the cloth that covers it. You see a lot of red, it seems, ink, very thick ink, kind of gooey, splattered around. And yeah, it seems that it's right below the sky. What was it?
Skylight?
Yeah, Skylight.
Skylight.
Skylight. Yeah.
And it's not crushed on anything, but if something would have fallen through it, it would probably broken this.
Right.
Maybe something leapt
up.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. The sky. So, assuming there is glass on the floor. Okay, sorry. Mind, brain.
There's some glass, but not as much.
Not as
Are we
much.
all in the room, or are we in this order?
Oh,
in
you
the
can
doorway?
be as much in as you want.
No,
He opened the door, and you can poke around.
I'll be like over here, but I'll just say Skorn notices the skylight and wants to comment on the fact that I'll just do it in character. I thought you said we couldn't fumigate the room because there was dangerous chemicals in here. Why is it open?
Because it wasn't supposed to. Oh shit, that costs a fortune. Oh man, some kids threw a rock once.
How
shit.
much of it is kind of shattered?
Oh, a lot. Like it burst out. Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why we're not. So
You
it's
think a
awkward.
rock did that?
No, it wasn't like it cracked once. Also, like the rock didn't break it. It didn't burst it. It just cracked the glass. Once they kicked the ball and it went up there as well, and we had to grab it.
Can I like
Anyway.
check just see like how much if Clock like if he's just coming up with something on the fly like bullshittery to cover up something else? Because this feels like such a
Give me an
light
insight.
excuse. Go. Hoorah. Back up to the inside.
Oh yeah, he seems just perplexed and like you see his his worker's brain working like shit. I'm gonna have to clean that shit up.
Okay, so
You
it's
know,
more that.
It's like,
than any-
how am I going to explain? Like, he completely forgot that the boss is probably not even waking up again or something. He's just like, I'm gonna have to clean that shit up, and it can't have been those kids because they only cracked it once, and that was it. And now it's like, what? And yeah, he's just desperate for.
Was somebody here posing?
He's looking down, and you see him sighing, like, well, at least not a lot.
Was somebody
down, so it's just the roof.
Who was here besides the usual workers? Was anybody scheduled to come in today?
No. There was only Gráan. As I said, he's been kind of living here practically. And I think Mr. Romero, well, he didn't sleep last night. And when I arrived this morning, when he said that he wanted some stuff, he was saying something like, I have to go home and get some sleep, and I'll be here by evening to finish up. So, and then he asked the stuff that he wanted for the night. And that's it. He left, and Gráan stayed. Also, he hadn't slept as well, so I don't know how he managed to do it, but he seemed to be like excited. And he was finishing up the stuff, and that's it. There was not supposed to be anyone except Gráan, and eventually Romero, because he would have been back by now for a while. A couple hours ago, I think.
Keep speaking to Skorn and or whomever's in the room. Just let's keep a lookout for anything out of the usual that could have been in here with Gráan that was living. I'm noticing, explaining I noticed there's not as much glass as you would think on the floor for a skylight that would broken in.
I thought you said it broke out.
That's what yeah, exactly. So
Yes,
glass would be
nothing fell
inside nothing fell.
It didn't fall through it. Something either went up or something went out.
Yeah. So we can tell that definitely something left through the skylight type of thing.
That or some form of
You do know that
explosion.
Gráan was seen running away from the sink.
Right.
So if it was him,
which would imply there was some other creature here.
Or someone turned into something.
Well, if it was just Gráan in the...
Do I also... I mean, when we saw the painting moving, at least from Zarthius, did he share any of that, or is it easy for like us also in the room to notice that?
Yeah, no, you just... That's something like... Whatever I said is just what you...
Okay, just in general, everyone saw. Okay.
Thought. If you want to, like, investigate any of these paintings...
I would say it'll catch Skorn's eye and he'll just kind of shout out to be like, "What is this?"
The big one behind the...
Yeah. I don't know how to make the little ping thing that you did, but
Yeah, no.
at the back there and behind.
Click and hold.
Yeah, it's... You guys have no idea, except maybe the doctor can make an knowledge check.
Is she in the room with us? I know she moved her token back.
Or an arcana check if she's there.
I will be joining you shortly. I think the reminder of how exhausted everybody is, I do want to take a second to check the food to see if there's any signs of poison.
Okay. Give me... you have alchemist.
I believe... Yeah, I'm crafts.
Give me craft alchemist.
16 plus 13, 29.
All right. The food's not only not tempered with, you find out on 29, you find out that there is something like instantly weird when you cross the threshold. You're like, hang on, and you look back at the curtains that they're peeled out from this arch, and you're like, you cross it and you cross it back, and you're like, that room smells like, formaldehyde, and this smells like, croissant. So how? Like, it doesn't cross. And you see something sparkling on the curtains, and you see there's something there that's preventing the atmospheres to blend in. So you see that the food's not only not tainted by anything that came from the other room, but it's also very fresh. It seems to there's nothing. When there's a garbage bin and there's some rancid smell, like even if it's clean, like if something's been there from the last couple days, it will be smelling like nothing seems to rotten here. So yeah, it's very clean and not like and there's no signs of poison. You go to the pantry as well while they're entering the atelier, and it seems that everything is kosher.
Interesting. Okay.
You take some samples, and it's like everything's fresh. It's like weirdly fresh. Like there's stuff there that you would be like, wait, just the time between being made and sold and arriving here, that would show, like something would show as a mold or something. Like it's almost like the cheese is clean. Like it's just how
the cheese.
Cheese is good.
So it seems to be protected by something.
I'm gonna clock the curtains. I'm not gonna look at them closely for now since I'm feeling rushed.
Give me an Arcana check.
Ooh, probably not good. Index. Do I not have Arcana trained? I should. Hello? Is it Arcana or Mysticism?
Sorry. Yes, mysticism.
I was like, in my brain, I'm like, why am I missing it? Okay, that's 17.
17.
Yeah.
That thing is definitely magical. Like, you don't know if that's the only thing responsible for it, but at the very least, it's the thing that, it's sort of a barrier, but it's a very elegant one. It actually gives you some ideas for your workplace. Like, you could be this, like, you don't have to, certain stuff doesn't need full isolation but it would benefit from having a kind of softer touch to separate the atmospheres, and you start taking notes of it. Like this is an interesting approach to it. So yeah, it seems to be a magical barrier of sorts, but very specific to the atmosphere. Seems to let the air come and go, but filtrate anything else.
I think because I'm being called, I'll do a passing glance at the only door we haven't opened yet, and then I will come in.
This one? This is where he said that you want to open it?
I'm not going to do that yet. I'll probably come back for it since they sound like they need me.
You see that there's no such, barrier here. It's just a door. Whatever it was supposed to contain, it's just between this room and the kitchen.
Interesting. Yes. All right. Apologies. I'm here.
You hear them call, and you see that they are inspecting this big weird painting. You're like, what is this abstract? No, it seems to be. Give me knowledge or mysticism, and tell me which one.
Let's see. Mysticism is 14, knowledge is 13. So mysticism. So that'll be 23.
23. You think like some of the depictions of Tormenta in some books, because it's like this. You don't really see, like, you understand this very well, your character does. You don't really see something that comes from the Tormenta, like the actual Lefeu, the demons that come from that plane, and the areas affected by it. They are so weirdly alien that your brain doesn't process it. It just goes to the weirdest thing it can grasp. So usually, the depiction and how people describe what they saw goes to the side of bugs. Like, it's the alienness thing that people can, like, kind of conjure to explain what they saw. But you've seen some other stuff being described, like some fungal patterns and, whatever was weird and alien enough for the beholder would describe what they see. And you're not sure, but being, very trained in that, you kind of assume that it might be. You also feel something coming from the canvas, almost like not a presence, but almost like something looking at you. Give me a will check.
Ooh. Oh no. Ooh. Okay. 17 plus. Ooh, and I have goodwill. Okay. 29.
You start to feel something tugging at your chest, and something boring through your skull. And right away, you instinctively just block yourself out. Like, you don't necessarily cast anything, but your mind enters lockdown, and your magical energies kind of coalesce to kind of almost like a protective barrier. A little bit more, and you would actually project outward the spell. You almost conjured it unknowingly. It was something very clearly trying to invade your mind and maybe even your body.
I'm going to immediately turn away and say, I would highly recommend not looking directly at the canvas, and if we could cover it quickly, that'd be preferred.
You have several like tarps and discarded canvases around. It's pretty easy to find some and toss it up there.
Yeah.
As they're doing that, with your mysticism, you sense something magical, but it's not that you just resisted. There's something behind it, maybe.
Mr. Skorn, would you mind assisting me in removing the painting from the wall?
All right.
Give me. It can be athletics.
Yeah, me and my
Let's go to this computer.
Unless you wanna.
minus
very
one
athletic.
strength. Okay. 14? Or sorry, that was acrobatics. Let me look at. Nope, less than that. So it's 12.
Okay.
I got 19.
You get a help from the doctor, which is a +1, which is enough. It's a very like you see that Skorn is going to it like sure, and he starts to lift it, and it's like hell. You kind of help him just. You look behind it and you see it's kind of stuck, so you just you're not helping like doing the strength, but you're kind of guiding it the way it's supposed to go. So he eventually lifts it and drops it.
I'll put it over here.
Yeah, right beside it. The wall seems clear, but you feel something. Give me a mysticism check again.
23.
Again. You looking closer to it, and without whatever the thing was covering it, you see that there's a kind of seal there. You see that's also some sort of barrier, like it would fall in the abjuration school of magic. Very potent. And with a 23, you are also realizing that there's something that's not quite right. Like you start checking the structure and you see almost as if someone added something to it. You see that because it's not the same. Like if it was handwriting, it's almost like some, notes scribbled on the side of the page. It's not very elegant, but it doesn't break the original stuff, but it adds something to it, which is pretty hard to do.
I'm going to just make a mental note of that handwriting.
Right. It seems to be a barrier, something to obscure or contain something in or out. It seems to have been partially deactivated, and it seems to be charging up back to, what it was supposed to do. But it's as if something tore through it. And it expanded its charge, let's say, and it's slowly building up itself to being active again.
Well, gentlemen, I believe we found the source of whatever happened today. And look at the painting.
What do you...
That is...
This was magically sealed, and it has been broken. Something came through here, and then look up at the skylight.
Would you be able to tell broken how?
Well, it wasn't completely dispelled. It would have been something... something that either probably overrode it, or a weakness in the actual spell itself.
You see the assistant. Wait, did someone mess with the seal?
The
Yes.
seal?
You knew of this?
You knew.
What are we sealing?
We are sealing the magic in.
The magic for what?
For the works of art. What do you think? It's just a sculptor or a painter? No, he's a freaking arcanist of the highest degree. His art is magical. And this is his lab also, as well as his atelier. The city requires us to operate under a seal. So if something goes wrong, it's contained. I have no idea what it is, but I know of it because the inspectors come every year or so to check it. And you say something broke it or it was tampered with, that this is... Well,
Would you be able to procure samples of handwriting for me for all that work at this building?
Sure. There are some notes of mine in my station. Gráan, I believe, keeps some stuff from his classes so he can study. I don't think he does that anymore, but he used to try to pretend he studied in his desk. And there's several documents from Homero over there. He points to the lavish desk.
She just stares at him until he, expecting him to go get them.
Oh, right. Sure. I thought you had some custody chain of something. What? Just leaves it. Goes grab him himself. Shortly comes back with a notebook, a few papers, and a letter from the desk over there. And he gives you, this is some formula I've been experimenting with to contain some insect fungus-like stuff that Homero asked me. This is Gráan's notebook or something, and this is a letter from an admirer, and he kind of gives you that. You see very colorful descriptions of intimacies all over the page, and you're like,
she's not really looking at the contents of any of these things. She's looking at the form of the language of
you
the
see
letter.
that together with it, there's replies signed by Homero.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like exactly their handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
You would need to peer through that, because what you've seen is the magical handwriting of this person, whoever it was. And what you're seeing is just calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me, and anyone can assist. Or
I was going to say, I would probably ask Mr. Zarthius if you could please assist me in this matter. I believe calligraphy is more your realm than mine.
Give me an insight check, whoever's going to do it.
Let me see.
Or if you guys want, I would allow trickery, because trickery involves forgery and understanding. Well, among us other things.
Insight would probably be better for me, but whatever I have a +9 to my insight.
I'm just trying to see if I have a thing that that one's when a creature wants to harm. I don't need that. Spend. Where is it? Yes.
What are you looking for?
Just something to assist if I have any ability that can.
You can roll your own skill check, and it's going to add to hers.
Okay.
What you can do is like assist yourself to have like every if you roll anything upwards of 10, you give 1 point to whoever's leading the roll. If you go above 20, it's 2, and every subsequent,
And this
increment
is-
of 10.
Okay. And it has
Gives
to be of
another one.
the same role that they're making?
Not necessarily. You can assist with something adjacent to it. So that's why I said you can do insight, but you can also do trickery, and that goes for the assistance as well, or really anything that you can kind of justify for me that would be applicable here.
Right.
But off the top of my head, I would say insight for understanding kind of the psychology, like the personality of whoever wrote it. But trickery, since it
I would have
gives
to come
you
up with a
forgeries, would apply.
Right.
Should I go ahead and lead the roll then?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because
Me and these 9. So 9 plus my 9
okay, so I can't
is
do that.
18.
18.
Insight.
I
Yep.
will roll insight. Oh, nice.
Oh wow. Okay. Being a natural 20, also adding to 23, I'll give you +3, so 21. You needed a 20. You look between the three things, and you see that one of them is it's kind of a portfolio and a notebook to not a portfolio, but like a sketchbook. That's where I was going.
Mhm.
That it has something scribbled on and some things drawn like sketches for something big. It seems you seem to check that there are parts of something bigger being sketched there. It seems to work with fractals. You know from your research, not your research, but your studies, really, like the start of your studies, where you had to learn some math and stuff like that. Some of the patterns are geometrical enough to be like some stuff that you studied. About fractals and spirals and ratios and stuff like that long ago, but you recognize those patterns. But it doesn't seem quite there. Like the kind of energetic way it's written and sketched kind of reminds you at first, and which leads you to stay there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But you start comparing, and it's just not that.
Mm-mm.
The other, like the formula from Benjor, it's like it's too tidy. The guy is like he stays like everything is where it's supposed to be. It's all very organized and clean. You see that whatever that room was supposed to be back there, he translates it to what he's doing when he writes. So when you see the add-on let's say, you kind of see like if he would do something, he would have done the main barrier. Like he would have been one of the mages that set up the barrier, very clean, very professional, up to code. He would not do something, kind of messy like that. And then you see Zarifius chuckling at some lines exchanged between Homero and whoever was his paramour. And there is indeed very colorful language, and he's just reading it and kind of poking Skorn. This is like, check this out. And when he holds it up next to the seal. For a brief moment, you see something like waver in the air. And you're like, hello. The handwriting it's all, one of those beautiful calligraphies.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something in the energy of it. Mm-hmm. As if the very letter that he wrote on was soaking in energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of connected with what you've seen.
Intriguing.
So what you're seeing here is pretty much a seal that was added to seal more. If anything, what you get is that Homero apparently wanted to make it more secure.
He was very concerned about something.
Very concerned about something, or perhaps was in doing something with his artwork that he knew he shouldn't have been doing, and trying to cover his bases or make it safe. Worst case scenario, obviously, but perhaps there was something sketchy with his works.
I believe we have found the worst case scenario.
Do we know of assuming he sells his work pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is the seal only made for the creative process, or is it a possibility that he's doing something with this magic and it is giving it to innocent bystanders?
Are you asking this to Benjor? Or to me?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm asking it to him.
He's like, look, we definitely work with some dangerous materials, like, well, some old pigments used to give you all sorts of diseases, and people have phased them out. Like there's this blue that is beautiful, but it will kill you. But anyways, my job here is pretty much to avoid anything like that from happening. Like the stuff that we use is very dangerous, and I have to nullify that danger. In the same sense, well, Mr. Homero, he does the magical part of it, and well, magic can always be dangerous, and it's his job, and in a sense, well, Grant's as his assistant, to keep it safe on the magical part. So everything that, well, I can only say as much as my job, I don't know shit about magic, but as far as my job description goes, everything that goes out that door it's safe. Like, you shouldn't, but you can touch it, breathe near it. I wouldn't recommend it, but most of it you can actually eat. Like, it's not going to harm you.
So we don't have to worry about
I can only
any...
imagine that Mr. Romero has the same care for the magical side of the business.
We have a record of who the client was for this particular painting.
This one was a special project, I can tell you right now. I don't know if he had a buyer, but it seemed... He said it was his magnum something, opus something. It's something that he was spending a lot of his money to do. It's almost as if the past years, like 4 years previous to this piece, started being like, he's been at it for more than a year. At this point, almost 2.
When did he finish?
He didn't. They said, well, Gráan and him seemed to be on a spree and developing it a lot, but I wasn't allowed to see it. As a matter of fact, Gráan wasn't allowed to see up to a couple months ago, like 2 months ago. We were not allowed inside the atelier when the magnum whatever was uncovered and he was working on it. I entered the atelier sometimes in Gráan as well, but only to deliver stuff. And the piece was huge. It was over here, and it was always covered. And I couldn't tell what it was from the shape, but to be fair, most of his work, even when it's uncovered, I can tell what the fuck it is. But it's crazy. But anyways, so yeah, it's supposed to be dangerous in the making, so it isn't when it leaves here. And if what you're saying that it was trying to keep whatever inside, but would his work be that dangerous? He points at it.
Well, let's see. Hopefully not, but something was that dangerous. Something went wrong. What's behind the seal? Is it another room or is it just wall?
Oh, it's just... no, that's just... It's pointed inwards as far as I understand. It's used this area so it doesn't spill magical energy. I don't know, but it's pointed inwards. Behind this wall is just the back alley, where where the kids I told you about were always playing.
The back alley. Kids always play. Yeah. Is there? I would like to investigate the back alley, just meander around there, if that's all right.
Oh, the inspector is back there. I saw him go in with some... Well, anyways, there's he points at this door, and he's like, this here is the storage, and it has a door to the back alley through the storage, but you wouldn't be able to access it. You would have to go back here to the secondary storage. Here's just a chute. Anyways, I can... But you can see both sides of the storage unit.
Doctor, is it possible to affect magic from the other side of the wall? From the alley side?
I would have to investigate. Typically, a sealed
maybe
like
we're
this
thinking about-
doesn't allow that, but it is more about sealing in versus protecting against the exterior, so it's worth looking into.
Current running theory is perhaps in a world where Gráan had nothing to do with it and he was just wrong place, wrong time. Perhaps there was some other force that knew it had an opportunity to mess with. That would make sense, anyways. I'm thinking out loud and getting nowhere.
Yes. I think part of it is this magnum opus. I don't. None of you felt it, but it has very strong arcane forces around it. It attempted to reach into my mind and take over my body.
Wait, is the magnum opus the painting we took off the wall?
No, it was whatever he was doing here.
It was a different thing. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought it was a different
I thought it
one
was-
that was in this, and that's now
By
missing.
what?
Yeah.
No. By what he described, this magnum opus was something like it wasn't a painting. as
More
far as you
sculpture,
can
like it
tell,
sounded.
because, it sounded more like that because it was a shape, like a big three-dimensional shape, covered.
Because I was only asking about the painting, was what I was asking about, for if that was a client
The
or
painting, he said he's not. No, that's not his. It's just from some other artist he admires. That's not his signature there.
From another artist?
Most of the paintings here are not his. He used to say was like his references. He doesn't display his own work.
But you said the painting had a hold or tried to get a hold over you?
Mm-hmm.
This painting, it's just weird.
It's Tormenta.
Where did the artist he procured it from? It connecting some dots. Perhaps how long has he had the painting for?
Since he hired me. This one specifically, like a couple more here have been always here. Some are newer, but this one's always been there. I don't know how he eats under it, but every time he brings like a model and have dinner with them, it's right under here.
Somebody who's a big fan of this painting and eats under it would be looking at it an awful lot. A painting that has a way of getting a hold of people. Perhaps he wasn't all in his right mind making a new artwork that he didn't want anybody else to know, and using means where he would have to add and make his seal better or stronger. He was working on something dangerous, and I think it escaped through the ceiling.
Shit. Burn this painting then.
Now we need to figure out what it was he was
That
working on.
always creeped me out, so I never stared into it. He's kind of like getting away, as far away as he can from it.
Do you know the
We
name
need
of
Homero.
the artist?
Nah, just know it's not his. I checked because I thought, wow, this is different, and I looked at this signature. It's not his.
We need to find Gráan, and we need to find whatever he was working on.
Gráan and Homero.
Right.
Both of them.
All right. So, well, I can take you through the. Here's the disposal area, and over there, and he points back to where you came from, is the storage unit. You can want to go there, and then we can just go outside to the alleyway.
Of course.
Works
He
great.
opens this door here for you, and he leads the way, the moment he opens the door, I need all of you to roll a fortitude check. You can add 2 for wearing the masks.
What's it again? 4.
37.
Dario.
Okay. I double check.
Dude, that's my low roll too. That's a roll on an 8. And it's still a 22.
2 plus, so 18 plus the 2 is dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Doctor,
24.
you immediately gag. Like, it's not like it's. He said in a way that it's like, oh, okay, it's kind of, it smells bad and might do something to your nostrils, but it's not that bad. When you smell it, you're like, nope. I should have something stronger over my face for this.
Be holding my breath.
Yeah, you kind of cover more. But before you can do much about it, you gain the following condition. I have to see the name. In the global modifiers, you can check nauseated.
If it ever
And you have
go over.
You have it for a scene. Okay. So
Great.
pretty much up until you leave this map, you'll have it. Okay.
Nauseated, there we go.
You feel like, oh shit, that's going to take maybe an hour or so to leave my system. You cover it better, but it's already in there. Skorn.
Yeah.
You do just pass, but at first you sense the smell, and you're like, right, whatever. Like, you smell worse. But a moment later, you feel kind of lightheaded. You resist the effects of it, but it goes straight back to the lab where they modified you. Like, it's the weirdest feeling of shit. There's something here, almost like a miasma, like a bad air that reminds you of it. But you hold it inside. You get kind of discomfort for a second. You see that the doctor almost beside you. She's kind of green. Well, you can see it.
Yeah.
She's an owl. But yeah, you see that she's kind of, dizzy. But yeah. You hold it, but you're reminded of something. And then you see that Benjer, he's walking all the way to the back here, and he's like, what the fuck? And he points here. And if you follow him, you see that there's a wall of shelves and drawers where there should be vials. They seem to have been removed already. There's just some few empty vials that were left behind in a hurry. But there's not even what he's surprised about, because you realize that there are some markings for, the forensics teams started to catalog some stuff and see some markings for, this is batch something that's going to be taken back to the precinct or whatever. But you see that one of the shelves is slided back, and it connects to the area where he said was his disposal area. And he's like, I didn't know that did this.
Does they connect?
Yeah, I mean, it's been divided forever. Like, it's just this wall of, where we kept our stuff, and back there is where Homero disposes of his stuff. And there's a chute.
How? It's not.
Why would he need to? I don't know. It's just weird. I never knew about it.
How big is the chute? Because we would.
It's just a small chute, like a trash chute.
Like a trash chute. Yeah.
And it says, that's right over there. Like, it's now partially covered by the sliding shelves, but it's just like a trash chute. And he says, no, just there's this. I never even touch it. He says there's magical stuff in it, and some guys come once a week, and they get it, like from a locked container outside.
Skorn will. Do I see a door back here? Because I know he was describing a door.
Yeah, there's a door here, going to the back alley, as he said before.
He'll move to go to the back alley.
Okay. You touch the handle, and it's locked, and then Benjor's like, oh, excuse me, and he just stretches his finger and scribbles on the wall something, and it unlocks. It's like, yeah, he did this to most of the doors. It's kind of annoying. Like, he did it to the bathroom. Like, why? So yeah, the door unlocks. Yeah, once I got, like, I was in a hurry, and I couldn't remember which nymph came. It's almost a tragedy, let me tell you that.
I will step out.
All right, let me reveal that for you.
Is that a dead person?
Right, no, that's Chalkline, like one of those.
Oh.
Let me. Also, I didn't know I was using. Hang on, let me reveal that to you. Here, you see two more. There's you open the door. There's this alleyway. To your left, you see a small arch leading to another main street outside. To your left, to your right, you see that it leads back into that. I'll just reveal everything. To that kind of bark growth stuff here, with a fountain. And there are these two guards over here, and you see the inspector that you've met a couple times before. He's like crouched and like caressing his mustache. It seems to be in deep thought and looking at a like this chalk mark of someone that was left there. And behind him, you see this huge mural, like the entire wall in the back alley from here to here is painted and scribbled on and graffitied and everything. Like, you see some on the floor as well, like as if the wall couldn't contain it, and there's stuff being painted on the wall. And some of it is a very complicated, like, work of surrealist art of sorts. Some of it is just geometrical shapes and interlacing and becoming different stuff. And weirdly, a big part of it is children's drawings. Just like stuff that you would see in a kindergarten, up to whatever, just some lyrics to songs that maybe teens shouldn't be listening to yet, but they did anyway and scribbled it, to hearts with initials and to people kissing and pets and stuff that seems to be part of games like hopscotches and stuff. It's weird. It's like, and it's not as if someone came and vandalized a work of art. It seems whole. You kind of see all that, and you're like staring at this huge mirror, the like last place you would expect it, and you see the Inspector Gavin looks up from the chalk marks on the floor and say, "Oh, fucking finally, eh? Wanna give me a help here?" And let's take this moment to take a break.
Halfway point.
We'll be back in what? 10, 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So don't go anywhere or go and be back. See you guys soon.
All you.
Cool. Welcome back, everyone. So we were investigating this weird place, and our Bloodhound just walked out the back alley and met for the first time our friendly Inspector Gavin, who is looking at some silhouette chalk down on the pavement, and he just turns at you and say, "Yeah, finally, huh? Are you finished in there, or?"
I think we've scoped it out a pretty decent amount, figured out some things.
All right. Where's the hey, where's the assistant guy, the alchemist dude? Is he inside?
It was
It's
behind me.
Doctor.
You there?
Is it you?
Sydney, you are the doctor.
Yeah, no, I was just like debating, am I leaving or not? I think I'm just gonna poke my head and be like, I'm here.
Are you feeling well? My guys did, like, whatever was in there, did a number on them. You feeling all right?
I am feeling the symptoms and I am finding them exactly as I expected to find them.
All right. Well, you're doing way better than my professionals. They call themselves. They seem to be in the hospital now, but they are fine. They said. Right. Are you still checking that storage room? Because I would pretty much like it to be closed if you're not going to look around anymore, because I don't want to go home and puke my dinner.
Unfortunately, given the fact that Mr. Benja noted a discrepancy in the condition of the room since his previous occupation of it, I believe, unfortunately, I will need to take a closer look.
All right, you finish your job there, and then you come out, and I can tell you what's going on back there. Yeah, just good luck there.
Yeah,
close
I
the
just take
door,
a deep breath and
please.
just go back in.
Are you guys going to stay with her or snoop around the back alley?
I go over to where the chalk drawing on the floor is.
Yeah, I think yeah, we'll stay out here.
You see as you walk closer to the chalk marks that directly opposed to it on the mural, there are scorch marks. And at first you think it's something like it's part of the painting. But then you see it's kind of fresh. You still smell a little bit of burn. It's not painted, it's actually burned in the wall. And it's funny, you thought it was something because you can clearly see a silhouette. Like, it's as if someone was blasted against the wall. And you can see the shape of someone like that.
You said on the wall with the mural?
On the wall opposite to Homero here. Right,
Yeah.
right across the alleyway, you see that. And it's a different shape. Like, you haven't seen Homero, but he seems to be like a tall guy. This guy's not that imposing or broad-shouldered. Of course, you're going off based on the freaking chalk line, but still, it seems to be a larger guy on the floor and someone not that, who was blasted.
I will go over to the blast mark and try to just determine if it's magical or if it's like chemical, more like gunpowder that's on there.
Give me... How would you do this? Would you just roll in straight up investigation, or would you try another approach?
Well, what I'm imagining him doing just in terms of it is kind of taking his fingers and kind of drawing it slowly against it to see just if it get like what the smell like on his fingers kind of does, and then he's gonna give it like a light smell just to kind of waif and see if he's familiar with it, like, in the sense of gunpowder or not.
Okay.
Or if it's something else.
Give me an investigation.
Okay. Let's see.
Since you know guns, never mind you rolled well. I'm not gonna give you a bonus.
Since you know guns, well,
yeah,
because
I was like,
I know a gun.
I'll give you a bonus because your character's based on guns, but never mind. It is not gunpowder. It doesn't smell like it. It doesn't smell like brimstone. Like it's like when you ask, well, maybe it's magical. You can't discern it.
I know it's not gunpowder.
You know it's not natural. Therefore, it's probably magical. Like there's no. You would be able to smell whatever was the fuel for the fire. Whatever was, it would have something. This is just heat. Like unless it was something like natural. But even then, it would probably smell like brimstone or something. But
follow up. Seeing, kind of diverting away from that, seeing if, with this experience, I want to know if I can give a rough guess as to where the center of the explosion or like the source of it, kind of angle-wise, I think may have come from. And then, like, where he was in relation to the wall.
You see that you start looking around to see if it was a blast. I mean, it would have scorched the ground probably.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit of scorch marks here and there. Some of it's washing off already from the rain. It's not heavy rain, but it's enough to kind of dilute some of it. But with that investigation, you can kind of trace a cone. It's like it originated either here or here, and it spread like a cone.
Huh.
So
He was defending himself? I kind of
It's-
just say out loud, questioning, seeing if potentially the investigator here also maybe comes
yeah,
to the
the inspector
conclusion.
say, yeah, you got that too, right? It's the impression I had. I don't know what kinds of magic this guy was a specialist in, but fire magic, it's a staple. I think he just tried to fend off whoever was attacking him.
Or whatever.
There are some scorch marks here and there. It's almost as if he was trying to hit something and was, either the guy was too fast for him or, I don't know, confused him a little because it's kind of hectic. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he got the bastard at some point. Don't know how anyone would walk away from this, to be honest, because you see the wall there? It's pretty charred.
But there was no
Imagine
ash.
what it would do to flesh.
But there was no ashes. Were there?
That's what's getting me. I mean, it's raining and all, but if he blasted someone to that degree, there would be some residue, right?
Maybe.
That's what I'm trying to understand here. And also, he was the one on the ground in the end. How come? Either
Sorry,
way,
what was that?
he was the one
On the ground.
on the ground.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
We could be ruling. So we don't want to rule out any fire resistances or. There's no tracks of. There's no like trail saying that they ran.
Well,
Correct.
what do we know?
we do have witnesses that saw the assistant guy fled, like fleeing the scene
Out the front or the back?
here through the alley.
Through the alley.
They said he was his clothes were tattered, singed,
Oh.
and that he was like they described him as completely red. So I'm assuming maybe he did have some resistance to the fire, but he was burned to his flesh. I don't know, man. I don't know how anyone would run off the way he did if he had like 33rd degree burns all over his body, but yeah, seems
Adrenaline
weird.
will do that to you.
And Zuri says you yourself, and I don't think has this particular skill, but coming from a long line of dragon-like creatures, it's kind of similar to you. Like this is something that would happen like in the skirmish where you're from. Someone breathes fire, like for you is normal. Normal enough. Sometimes people are resistant to fire and can withstand some of it. But, Kalyanax that are that resistant to fire. Why would that guy be that?
We need to find this assistant.
Yeah, you do. That's why we hired you. Anyway,
He just kind of gives the investigator kind of like a death glare, being like, "No shit."
His son's face is like, we're paying. Doctor,
Yes.
what would you be doing?
I'm
there.
investigating the room since the Benjar pointed out the fact that it was different.
Yeah, the thing that you see is that this it's actually one room originally, and it was divided by these shelves. And to Benjor, he told you that, like, I never knew that, and I can't imagine why he would connect both rooms this way. Like, it's weird. Why not just leave it as? I know he wanted to contain something there, but then why would he make an opening?
Yeah.
But you see that they pushed that shelf backwards. You assume that the forensics thing did that, but they didn't go in there because they pretty much cleared out the side you came in through. Because you only see those kind of plaques with numbers that they probably used to catalog everything. It was a lot of stuff. Like, you can see that's shitloads of things. Some of them are marked by Benjor and probably Gráan, like catalysts and pigments and stuff. But none of them are there anymore. But the moment you peek through the shelf, you see that they pretty much didn't touch anything back there. You see some bags, like some. They seem like trash bags, but they are oiled in some way as to not, it's not just fabric. There's some treatment to it so it doesn't spill whatever is inside. You've used some of that. You know that this is used in hospitals to dispose of some, biological agents and stuff like that. And he did say that was the point of this anteroom, just a disposal storage place, so they could haul it off every week. And you see that the trash is still there, some of it.
Interesting. I think at that point, my only thought forward would be looking at Benjar and go, if I were a more adventurous soul, I would say we need to see where look into the contents of these bags and see where they end up when disposed upon, but I'm not quite feeling up to it today. I'm not dressed for the occasion. We will reconvene another day. Do not let investigators do anything.
Okay. You think that trash bag is dangerous? Maybe.
Well, it is arcane material being disposed of, so certainly isn't safe.
All right. Okay. So let's close this off. It seems like when you say it's arcane stuff, he's like, yeah, that's out of my depth.
They don't pay me enough.
Yeah. Right. And he starts like dragging the shelf back.
There we go. And then I'll go outside and join the guys.
Benjor follows you, looks at the guys, and he starts looking around and saying, holy shit, wow, what happened here? And he sees the scorch marks and stuff, and then he just stays quiet, like, not my job.
Am I able to determine that the seal would be right where that the chalk silhouette is?
Yeah, you can pretty much feel it at this point. Like it's faint because it's been, pushed through, like burst through. But since you got a good read on it before, you can feel that it's pretty much behind the guy.
Yeah. So I'll go to Mrs. Artheus. I believe the result of this scorch mark and injury have something to do with the seal.
What seal?
The
Magical seal for the arcane purposes for...
Oh, right. They had one of those, right? Yeah, they probably had a permit from the city. And he looks over to one of the guys and he's like, "Oh, yeah. They sent the documents. They're sending to your desk." And he's like, "Yeah, it seemed to be in order. I haven't, gotten down to do any paperwork yet, but..."
It was tampered with, you will find.
Oh.
Not to weaken, though, to strengthen.
Maybe... Well, I could have asked, like...
Unless he was doing something he did not wish to disclose to the city.
Son of a bitch.
When was the last time it was supposed to be checked?
They usually do that at least once a year. If they suspect anything, they do it more often. As I'm aware, they never announce it. Of course, like they can come randomly at some point in the year. But yeah, he had like the usual amount. Like maybe we should have come more. Well, not us, but whatever department's responsible for this.
Right. Oh, he was working on this for how long? 4 years.
Benjamin's like, "Oh no, this piece. 2 years now, but yeah." Anyways, he a lot happened like in the past year since Gráan came in to work with us.
I'm gonna go investigate the scorch marks myself to see if it's like fireball or tormenta.
How do you want to look at it? With like,
I think I'm not
a mysticism check, or
mysticism check was my intention. So I wasn't gonna touch it, but I was gonna kind of pull on my okay, I know what a fireball spell looks like. Does this look fireball? See if that's a similar thing or if it's something more tormenta based.
All right, give me the roll.
You gotta be imagining fireball spells now. I won't lie.
Fireball.
I like it. Sounds cool.
Tis the season for bells.
Fuck, I didn't think of that.
Toll the dead, but make it fireball. I think I said a plus 14 in this, but I want to verify.
Chill touch,
yes.
but make it fireball. Everything, but make it fireball.
27.
Oh, okay. You notice a lot of things. Okay. First of all, you see that it is indeed not a fireball, but it was a fireball. Actually, it's a cone. Like it's it's a burst of flame. I think it's the name of the spell. It's a very basic, like one of the most basic fire spells anyone learns. It's just a cone that spreads from the hand of the caster, which is odd considering, like, why wouldn't he just fireball the motherfucker? Like, if he was a very powerful arcanist, he would just have, blown up everything. But you do see that with that much role in mysticism, you do see that there are several tries. Like he casts kind of in several directions before, and the only reason why you would do that is if you're not sure where your target is. So he was trying to determine that. And at the same time, you're thinking, well, you can fireball the entire alley and nobody gives a crap where your target is, you're gonna get it. So it comes to you that maybe he wasn't spry enough to cast fireballs willy-nilly. Like, you remember that Benjar said he wasn't sleeping much and he was tired, and you think maybe he didn't have the juice to pull it off, or at least not without consequences, like casting a fireball and not having the energy to do anything else could be dangerous. So he probably went for a simpler spell, either because he didn't think the target deserved the fireball, like it was a threat enough for a fireball, or because he knew that if he didn't succeed, he wouldn't have a second try, so he rather just fire blast everything until he hit it. And yeah, that's what you pretty much see from it. Like, he tried a couple of times, and he didn't spend much magic in this, probably because he didn't have it at that point.
I don't know if I'm going to disclose any of it to the rest of the crew. I'm just going to make a note of it. And
yeah. So, the inspector turns to you and say, right, so what you got?
A potential statue creature?
The man's arc came to life and flew out the skylight.
So that's what it was. Okay. A statue,
that's
a golem,
what it was.
something like that.
We can't be certain.
We don't know. The only eyes on it were the young assistant and Homero himself, so we don't know exactly what it is we're looking for.
Then he looks at Benjar and says, "You never saw it." And he was like, "No, he didn't let me."
Someone tampered with their seal.
Did the kid see it? And it's like, yeah, for the past few months he's been working closely with Homero in a way that not many assistants did before. Like, he was very thirsty of him. Apparently something pressed him. I think it had something to do with the mural.
Take a second look at the mural.
With the mural.
Yeah, he painted it, Gráan did. And not all of it, but he turned it into a game, I think. I told you that there were some kids playing around here, and he was painting it, and I don't know, at some point I think one of them kicked the ball, like they think always kicking this fucking balls around here, but he knocked over some paint, and they came to apologize, and he was, no, it's fine and all, and second thing you know, they're asking questions, and he's like, yeah, sure, paint something. I don't know if he was just trying to get rid of him, but at some point he was pretty much teaching them, like, and just telling them, express yourselves or something. I don't know how art goes really much, but they seem to like it. Like, they came here to play, and the wall became one of the playthings. Like, they would paint and he would let it. I thought at first they were like ruining his work, but it's kind of nice in a way. I don't know how he did it. Yeah. So he showed this to Homero, see, a couple months back, and it impressed him. I mean, it's pretty impressive. If you ask me, I don't understand much, but I can see that much. And they started working more closely. Like he let him see the magnum opus in there. But yeah. Haven't seen the kids though in a while.
I'm going to need you to write down description of Mr. Gráan.
Yeah, he's an elven guy. Elves are difficult to discern. The age after some point. But he was, studying college, so I would assume in his 20s. I don't know. His 20s could be his 200s. But yeah, he has black hair, quite long and wavy, and he's kind of scrawny, not very tall, and he's always with this headband. I don't know why, but he's always using. I don't know if it's to hold his hair, but it's something that I would always know. Like if I saw him on the street from behind, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's it." Like an elven kid with a headband. And yeah, black eyes, black hair, pale.
That should be enough, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and cast.
The moment he finishes that, Gavin says, "Wait, what do you mean, pale?" Guy said, "The red guy with red eyes ran through the wall, right to the door over there." And he's like, "I don't know, man. It didn't say someone got burned. Maybe he got burned." Give me an insight check, whoever wants to.
What is my insight?
I will assist. Let me
My
get to
insight's no bueno.
I think mine's +9. Yeah, so 15.
Okay. 16, 15, and... Woo,
Yeah, killing it.
Skorn. You... Well, and the doctor, you both feel something like when they mention the appearance and being red, is immediately defensive. Like he wasn't lying up until now. It did describe him, it seems, accurately. But when the Spectre told him he left, like someone with that similar but very different description left, he immediately got like clamped up.
Specifically, this fellow.
Yes.
This one, okay. God, I have two mouses. I'm like, which one? We'll go over. I keep clicking on the wrong mouse. I'm like, this is not the one that controls that window. I will move over and be like, what's got you bothered?
It's nothing. It's just it's weird, and maybe the kid was burned. I don't know, man. I give me a diplomacy check. or intimidation, depending on how you want to.
Ooh, I definitely was feeling more wanted to go the intimidating route. Let me see if diplomacy is better for some reason. They're the same. Intimidation it is. Ooh.
Oh, now he will
Not
have
it,
to
not
roll.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah. He's like,
I should have flexed the mechanical arm.
he's like, no, yeah, he's
I
just
knew it.
like saying, nah, he's not. But you do see him doing like this.
He's a bit antsy. Okay.
Like, no, and he's trying to make eye contact and say, like, I don't want to talk about this here.
All right.
But he's not saying that. He's just, stop asking here. You know?
Yeah.
Either way, I believe this is sufficient for me to cast my spell, and I'll...
Yes. Are you looking for the description the inspector gave, or Benjor gave?
I think I'm splitting the difference. So it sounds like within the spell, I can be a little more vague. So it's like Gwen the elf. So I'm thinking like Gráan the elf, possibly burned, like that. That's kind of the area I'm going in. And I'm going to go ahead and do +5 to make it 900 meters. I don't think I can go higher than that. But...
Oh, wrong mouse.
That gives me something.
Going back
right.
This.
Per second circle, do I spend 1 mana or 2?
3 mana base.
3 mana. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's 8. So that is my max there. Cool. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and see if that gets us anywhere closer.
You start to concentrate. And you, instead of the visual image you're trying to conjure up, because they gave pretty different descriptions.
I think
you
I'm
do
also
that. You focus on the
my
idea
staff,
of it.
and I'm leaning against the mural, hoping to like pull something from that.
Good. That's actually really good. Okay. You start doing that, and at first nothing. Like usually when you if you had searched for like an elf, it would like ping all over the town for as many elves. Since you're looking for a specific someone, or at least someone, like, it's difficult for people to share a name in this world. There's a thing that if 2 people have the same name, one can legally challenge the other for the right of keeping the name. So
It's the great battle of Jeffs.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Not everybody does it, but you know, if you share your name with someone famous, they can challenge you for it. Are you there? So I mean, you finding an elf named Gráan would be fairly simple, and you don't. And first, you're like, either he's blocked from the spell, which is kind of hard but doable. Or he's outside the radius of the, which would mean that he fled the city already. Pretty much, because with, well, maybe not, but at least the district. Or he's dead. Like, he's not a thing anymore. But then, once you're kind of finishing, like, your scan, your mental scan of the area you conjured that, you touch the mural. And it's like some of its essence comes from it. Up your arm, through your staff, and pulses upward. You still don't get like a ping from where he is.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see that he left. And you kinda get the sense that he was running from something.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, first off, I want you to roll a will saving throw.
Okay. 12 plus 12, so 24.
24. Okay.
Darn.
You feel a different thing trying to enter you through your hand. It's not trying to access your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to access your soul. It wants to consume your very being and twist it. You've seen that. You've felt that through your research. That painting is reeking of Tormenta. And suddenly you are aware of everything around you. You see a faint trace leading out and disappearing outside the alleyway. It stops before leaving, but it points that way. You see something inside Jomero. You see that there's some torment inside him. Oh, sorry, Benjor. You look back at the atelier, and it's faint because you still can see some of the barrier, but it's reeking of torment. The place where you just left, the room, the disposal room, it's like there's a open flame in there. And you hear a voice, an echo, something weird, like bouncing off the walls of the alleyway. You hear, "Where are you, you fuck?" I gave you an opportunity. What are you doing? Show yourself. When you look behind you, your friends are not there. The walls are painted in a red light, it seems. Everything is different. And you see a guy. He seems ragged, like tired, like huffing and puffing, as if he's been running from something or after someone. You see his hands enveloped in fire and smoking, and he's looking around with eyes bright, bright red. And you see him stalking the darkness, and at any movement, he blasts a spray of flame to a side and to another. And he says, "I'll find you. I'll burn you to a fucking crisp." And suddenly you see the guy that Benjor described, kind of. An elven. And you see why he called him a boy. He's a young man, at most. He's also ragged. His hands are red from the fingers up to the forearms, tainted somehow. His pale skin on his face shows what seems to be like tear marks, also bright red. Is he crying blood or something? You can't really say. His eyes have no pupils or irises. They're all red. On his forehead, third eye, also completely red. It's wide open. And suddenly, he blooms into several copies of himself. They all start to circle around the guy. The guy starts to walk back to the wall. He bursts a flame. One of the reflections shatter and seems to be like red glass clattering all over. And another. And another. And finally, he hits one right in front of him. You see the figure crash at the wall, trying to defend himself. What emerges from the flames looks like a demon. The hair burned completely off. No eyebrows. The skin completely red. At first you seem to think, oh, that guy got burned real good, but no. He's untouched by the flames. His clothes are all burned off. The stains that seem to crawl from his arms completely envelop him. He's all red. He keeps moving forward and say, "You're not doing anything to any of us anymore. We are ending this." And he does this. And several shards flow through the guy. He grabs at his head like at once and goes like, ah! And you start to hear like loud pitch, like. You step back. You're in the alleyway. You're sweating a lot. You guys just saw her cast something, touch the wall, and be like wide-eyed for a couple of seconds, and snap out of it.
Push the wrong mouse. I go and I kind of put one hand on her back. I was like, kind of from having experience with this, just understanding she just went through something. She was already nauseous to begin with.
There's a lot of Tormenta here. There's a lot. It's in the mural. From what I can tell, Humero came out to murder Gráan. Something's been infecting them. All of them. And I just I don't say it, but I do glance over at Benyar. And whatever happens, cannot let Humero go. We cannot let him access anything. Any implements for spell casting, we need to take away from him immediately. Bind his hands. Just...
Alright. I'll go and restrain him.
Well, not Benya.
Oh,
Remember.
sorry. That's my own
He's like, oh, what did I do? What did I do?
I'm bad with names.
Oh, all right. Okay.
No, Inspector, be aware, despite being unconscious, Tamara is very dangerous.
The artist?
Incredibly.
He's a bandit.
He's accessing something incredibly powerful. Something that probably without that seal would have destroyed the entire city. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh shit. You're serious about this? You're sure?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start containment. How far should we be from this right now, and how far should everyone else be?
I think right now the seal is resetting, so I'm not concerned about this location anymore. Now I'm concerned about whatever might be out there and whatever.
Just in case we'll evacuate the neighborhood. He shots someone. Like, start the procedure. Call in the magical containment unit. Yes, go on.
From what I can understand, the assistant Gráan was trying to contain it as well. I believe he is an innocent party in all this, but he is very frightened. He is very skittish.
Right. And you say he didn't have any part. Well,
I can have no certainties, but from the vision I just experienced, it seems he was being targeted by his mentor. And there's something out there, I think. Something that's following him.
Okay. All right. Well, we will then seal everything up. You said that the barrier is starting to reset and do its job, so okay, we should be fine out here. But just in case there were kids,
no one is to go anywhere near the disposal room of this house. Something's in there.
Dangerous, like why?
It's
something dangerous. Have I? But what? Like that? It's just. What's in there?
From what I can tell, it's the most potent source of Tormenta I've ever seen.
He looks at his hands. The tips of his fingers remind you of what you saw. Tainted all the way up to the palms. And you see something click in his head, like, oh gods. Oh gods. Was everything tainted? Is the paint tainted?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Then what happened to the kids? And that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Damn.
So,
goddamn. I knew this would happen. I knew with this backstory.
There's children.
you know enough of the character.
Oh yeah. God, I love the mural appearance though. I feel like these guys, I don't know if they keep up with our videos,
but there's a lot to get through. It's
a lot.
Keep it all
it's
sorted.
A lot. Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, just saying the lore reveals that I already knew about, and there was stuff that I was like, I can't say anything. Even though I know exactly what this is.
But yeah, you're seeing it as it unfolded. Yeah. So, okay, so everyone, thanks a lot for being here. I was very nervous the entire week because this is the first time I am GMing live and in English.
So great job.
I'm really glad you guys jumped in this opportunity with me. And to everyone that's watching, thank you also. And we'll see each other next week. Is that it?
I think Saturday,
yes. I think it's already next. So next Saturday. Yeah. because we wouldn't, try to stream during the holidays. But next Saturday, we'll be here again to conclude this chapter of Gran's backstory. So, hope to see you all there. Again, thanks a lot. I have with me Sydney, Caden, and Evan. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you guys next week.